Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Katrina, and today we'll go through a very wavy, kind of spine-focused flow, quite a quick one. If you want to practice with me more, if you're interested in diving a little bit deeper, I've got my own online yoga membership called Olla Yoga Collective that I've just recently launched. On there, I've got lots of different length practices, from short to like full-length yoga classes. We've got lots of meditation, pranayama, and we also chat about all topics related to life, also kind of taking the topics of yoga and wellness into the society around us. How can we make the people around us, the communities, the planet a little bit kind of healthier as we benefit from this practice ourselves? So that's kind of the theme of the platform, and I really hope I see you in there as well. I've attached all the links below, and there's kind of these joining bonuses, discounts that you can have a look at. But we'll get straight into movement, starting in a child's pose. So bringing your knees towards the long edges of the mat, sitting your hips down towards the heels. You can ground your forehead onto the mat for a moment. And taking a really deep breath in. And then as you exhale, drop the body a little bit closer to the mat. Maybe taking a few more like that, really allowing your body, your mind to arrive into this space. Can you relax the shoulders, relax the hips, and lengthen the low back? And take one more inhale just here, just like this. And then exhale it out. We're going to press our hands onto the mat and start to curl forward with a really rounded spine as you inhale. And then as you exhale, arc the spine, move the hips back into your child's pose. And then inhale, roll forward again, chin to chest as you push the mat away from you, move forward. And then arc the spine, open through the chest, roll the shoulders back, sit back down. We'll move forward once more. Inhale. And now you can bring your knees a little bit closer in. Drop your chin and your chest onto the mat. Push the hips down. Roll into a cobra. Staying really fluid in the spine. Open the chest. Exhale back down. We're going to push back onto our hands and our knees and meet our child's pose again. We'll do that again. So roll forward, chin to chest. Pause. And then drop your chin and your chest. Push the hips back. Roll into a cobra, really fluid through the spine. Shoulders move away from the ears and then back down. Push back onto hands and knees and into your child's pose. We'll move forward again, rounded spine. Now pausing here. Bring your chin and your chest onto the mat. Leave the hips high. Can you pause here for a moment? Gazing forward. Engage through the core. And then we're going to start to tuck the tailbone under and allow that momentum to carry you forward into an upward facing dog. So pressing down through the tops of the feet. Take an inhale, roll the shoulders back. And then release your knees onto the mat, roll back down into your child's pose. We'll do that again with a variation. So roll forward, pause, bring your chin and your chest onto the mat, hips are high. We're going to now either keep the hands as they are, or if you want to bring them to the low back, interlace them there, you can do that. Either stay here or bend the knees, move your heels towards the glutes. Good. Can you open through the chest, feel the shoulders back? And then release your hands back under the shoulders. You can bring your toes down as well. Tuck the tailbone under and allow that movement to move you forward into your upward facing dog. And then release your thighs, your knees back down. Find your downward facing dog. From here, rising a little bit higher so that you can tuck your toes under. We're going to lift the hips up into a downward facing dog. Well done. Take a full breath in here. Maybe start to find a little bit of movement through the backs of the legs, bending one knee at a time, finding length in the spine. And then with our next inhale, we're going to come onto the tiptoes and do a similar wave motion from here. So roll the spine forward, rounding through it. As you find your plank, soften the knees, arc the spine, and allow the hips to guide you back. And we'll do that again. Come onto the tiptoes, roll forward, rounded spine. As you meet your plank, soften the knees slightly, arc the spine, gaze forward. Hips guide you back. We'll do that once more. Onto the tiptoes, really rounded, moving forward. Soften the knees, guide the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. We're going to reach the right toes up behind us. Can you bend the knee, open the hip, finding space in the front body? Right knee points towards the ceiling. Shift your right shoulder down. Come onto the left toes as you start to curl the spine and hug your right knee in towards the chest. Step it forward between the hands. Left knee grounds down. And we're going to roll up from here. Arms reach up. And then as you exhale, find your cactus arms. Good. Take one more inhale here. Roll the shoulders back and down. As you exhale, can you guide the hips back? Start to arc the low back. Move your belly button close to the right thigh, airplane wings through the arms. So coming into a kind of half Hanumanasana with your arms in airplane wings. Good. We're going to bend the right knee again. Right foot comes onto the mat. Now tuck the left toes under, moving through a power lunge, and then rise all the way up into a high lunge. Take a big inhale here, lengthen. As you exhale, release your arms through the side. Find a big back bend here and roll forward, bending over or forward folding over a straight right leg. Can you release over it? Fingertips on the mat, hips moving up. We take an inhale here, lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back. As you exhale, can you move the belly button even closer to the right thigh? Then planting both hands properly onto the mat, we're going to step the right foot back, moving through a vinyasa of your choice. It could be with the knees down or lifted. Upward facing dog or cobra. And finally a downward facing dog. Well done. Then moving to the other side, the left leg lifts up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Shift your left shoulder down as you point the knee up. And then come onto the right tip toes. Start to curl the spine as you hug the left knee in. And then step it forward between the hands. The right knee lands down onto the mat. And we're going to roll up from here. Reach the arms up. As you exhale, cactus the arms. So finding space here in the front body. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Elbows back and down. We inhale here. And then as we exhale, we start to straighten the left leg. The hips guide us back. Arc the low back. Hands come or arms come to airplane wings. Good. Really driving your chest forward. The spine is long. Good. Can you stabilize yourself here? And then we start to bend the left knee again. Plant your foot onto the mat. Moving through a power lunge so the right knee lifts. And then lift all the way up into your high lunge. Good. Take an inhale here, lengthen. And then as you exhale, release the arms down through the sides, big back bend, and then move into your forward fold over a straight left leg. Well done. Once you've arrived there, prop yourself up onto the fingertips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, fold over. And then planting your hands onto the mat fully, we're going to step into a plank pose, move through a vinyasa. Upward facing dog or cobra. And finally, a downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and then out. We're going to bring our knees onto the mat, and then keeping your toes tucked under, come and stand all the way over the knees. Kind of a shin stand, but with the toes tucked under. We're going to come into a few rounds of camel pose to finish this practice. So we're going to bring the bases of the palms to the low back. And then from here, we're going to first keep this really gentle. So we're going to start to gently push the hips forward, engage the glutes, pressing the bases of the palms towards the low back. Can you guide your elbows back and down and reach your chest up, finding length in the spine? Maybe roll the shoulders down even more. Push the hips forward even more to find that length in the back body. And then just as slowly as you came into this pose, can you roll back up? And for a moment, you can release your toes down, come and sit over the heels, long spine. Maybe you land your hands on the thighs. Take a few deep breaths before we move into that again. And now with this next round, you can either stay where we were, so with your hands on the low back, or you can bring your hands also down onto the heels. So you can tuck your toes under. You can also keep them untucked if you like. Whether you're moving lower down or staying where we are, bring your hands onto the low back to start with. That really helps also with moving the hips forward and finding that kind of engagement in the glutes. So we're going to do that. Start to imagine lengthening through the front body, lifting up through the chest, and then maybe from there, one by one, you drop your hands onto the heels. And keeping that engagement through the glutes, it's really important. Keep the back of the neck long, chest reaching up. And when you feel ready, you can start to come back the same way you came here, hands onto the low back. We'll release the tops of the feet onto the mat again and sit back down over the heels. Now folding over into a kind of closed child's pose, so with our knees under the chest to find a nice rounding for the spine. You can bring your hands onto the heels. That might feel quite nice. Take a few breaths here. Can you release the shoulders down? Allow the spine to round in a way that feels very natural. And then you can roll the spine up from here and just pause into a seat, keeping the eyes softly closed. Rolling the shoulders back. And then just pause here. Allowing yourself to notice, to observe all the sensations moving in the body right now, especially along the spine. Are there any sensations in the back body? How do you generally feel, both physically, mentally, and emotionally? Just allowing yourself a small moment of check-in, of just being with yourself before we move back into our days. Allow the breath to move in and out a few more times. Cherishing these moments of stillness, of calm. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands to heart center, expressing gratitude for this practice, for this body, for this movement. And then finally, bow your head towards your hands. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I really hope I see you here next week as well.